Hey guys, welcome to our live Tuesday live with Tyson. And today we have the infamous, amazing Justin with us. So I'm super pumped, excited. Um, I took a week off because I was I was up in Utah at the lake. And so I'm happy and definitely glad to have you on, Justin, with us today. And we're going to chat a little bit about the market. We're going to chat a little bit about Justin and what makes Justin such an amazing agent and a big player in the. Why are you laughing?
I just,
Don't be laughing
I
as
just
I'm talking.
wait. So is infamous like Voldemort or Harry Potter? I'm not sure which one infamous is supposed to be used for, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, no, but love Justin. He's definitely a big player here in the Temecula Valley market and will for many years. So I'm happy to have you on, bro. I'm sure we'll have a good time chatting about you. And I know that your business has grown a lot over the last couple of years, so I do want to dig in a little bit there. So Justin, without further ado, do you mind sharing just a little bit of what brought you into the business, how you got into it,
Yeah,
and what that all looked like?
yeah. So I would say about 4.5 years ago now, right? My job looked very different. I had a mask on then, believe it or not. I was in
Uh-oh.
surgeries, doing surgery centers, so I had a mask on all the time, right? I didn't die, anyways. Had a mask on, et cetera. Booties on. So I did the full 9 yards. Apparently, it was my realtor in training, but it was with surgeons. So many of who are good clients now in the different contexts, right?
Totally.
So good contacts to have in case you break a bone or whatever it might be. So I specialized in being a rep for or consultant, whatever sales title you want to throw on there. They're all interchangeable. For in the OR when people are being worked on in surgery. So like, if you're a weekend warrior, Tyson, or you're fly fishing in Utah and you rip your rotator cuff, like I'm in surgery when you're back with the doctor and helping them out with consulting on what different anchors they should use or what techniques, that they've trained on in the lab in cadaver studies, whatever it might be, on how to
Wow.
implement those into the OR. So that was my previous position. It was very technical, demanding, and it was about 70 plus hours a week. So it was a lot. So from there, we had just pretty much realized, my wife and I, that wasn't the life we wanted, not long term. We
Yeah.
recognize being younger, putting in your reps, right? But this was just kind of one of those positions that, as I looked at guys who were 10, 15 years senior to me, they had the same lifestyle that I was currently, doing now. There's just not really any stopping it, right? Someone gets into an accident or has surgery, and you got to be there,
Yeah.
whether you're a 20-year tenured rep or you're 2 years in. So we exited that business. And at that same similar time, I had a friend who had also left the previous job we were at, which I had left previous to him, which was in pharmaceuticals. So he was moving on, doing real estate, and said, you should come do real estate. You're a great salesperson. You love what you do, and you've got that energy and the drive. So if you can do 80 hours a week where you're at now, you could definitely do some damage in real estate. So finally convinced me to come over. That was Andrew Lewis. Um,
Oh,
name on
that's
name
where
on the
the
sign. Yeah.
connection is. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so he had gotten me to which interestingly enough, actually, Andrew, he's people say I'm the salesperson, but like, let's be real, it's Andrew, because I lived in Costa Mesa. The dude got me to move and buy a house in Winchester, right? And then I sold my house in Winchester and we moved to Marietta, became a real estate agent working with Andrew. So I think we all know who the real salesperson is here, who's selling who, right? Um, so
Which is
so yeah,
impressive. So that was you said 4 years ago?
yeah, right around there.
Dang. And wow, I find that amazing and awesome that he brought you in and you guys are still, it seems like, best of friends and working together. And I know that's a tough dynamic to make work. I know I've experienced it myself in the past. So the fact that you guys have been able to do it for over 4 years, that's impressive.
it just takes a lot of maintenance, right? Just like and we always shied away from using this context, but it's true. It's like marriage. It really is. You've got to have checkups. You gotta have intentionality. You gotta meet together, and it's about the numbers too. So you have to be going over the budget. You have to be going over the projections. You have to be going over your margins and all that stuff, right? To keep your head on straight. And for Andrew and me, it's no secret, I hope, that we're both Christians. So we have a guidebook on how we're supposed to do relationships, whether it's business context or marriage or friendships,
Yeah,
between me and you and me or whatever it is. So it's been nice to have that to fall back on at all times as well, to be able to go, I'm not supposed to let the day go by and be angry, right? So if you made me,
yeah,
as inevitably we're gonna have friction. We're both high driving personalities. So like we're gonna have friction, but like at the end of the day, if it's 7 o'clock at night and I'm still PO'd about something, I'm like, just, hey dude, can we chat real quick? And that's
right.
really, and vice versa. He's good about that too. So it's really saved our friendship and made us quite a bit of money, to be totally honest, having, that synergy with each other and really finding a way to work well together, even on things we might differ on. So,
Dude,
it's really
I
good.
love that. Like, it gets me, and I've never really thought of it like with the whole marriage aspect of it, but it's like,
That's good.
like, what is the most important part in a marriage? It's usually communication, right? Same thing with any sort of partnership. It's like communication, it sounds like, from what I took from it, is a huge part of having a great relationship with a partner within your business, and making sure that you make efforts to have that communication. So
Th-
interesting.
yeah, that
Love it.
plus having your plans in place, right? Like having things written down. So that'd be my encouragement to anyone, because we do get now, being partners for 4 years, right? But having
Yeah,
people now come and ask questions about, hey, how does partnership work? And I'm like, honestly, I know how I can tell you how ours works. I can't tell you how anyone else's works, but I do know that we have a heck of a lot written down that we haven't heard others have written down. Whether it's an exit plan, whether it is whatever it is, we got really blessed early on to have a really good a business coach who had told us, if you're having to talk about things in the moment, you're too late. So she basically said, like, what happens if one of you has a tragic event or whatever it might be? Do you have a plan in place, even financially, to how to press pause on that
yeah,
person's aspect of their partnership? So we've been able to go through everything, whether it's a tragedy, one of us decides we're out of the business, we just don't have a passion for it, right? Like Andrew goes back to
yeah.
NASCAR racing, whatever it might be. Like we have a plan in place for how to divest someone from the business, because it is a business. We treat it like a business, we run it like
Right.
a business, we have shares, you name it. Um, how to divest an individual, how to buy someone out. Like all those things have been thought through, probably not everything, but a lot more exhaustively than we've heard about the fly by the seat of your pants. So when one of you gets mad, now it's just emotion. There's nothing in writing to fall back on, which you would think for friends you wouldn't need it, but in truth, that's why you have it. So you stay friends, because you already have a preset program in case something happens.
Dang. Yeah, I love it. Good. Yeah, Justin, shoot. We should just talk about relationships and
Oh, is that we're gonna change this too? Like you're live with
yeah.
Justin and Tyson.
So
What's your problem?
seriously, that's cool. And good for you guys. I love the fact that you guys are making it work, and I think it goes to show it's just important, really, whether it be a partnership or anything. It just takes work, and it takes being proactive within whatever you're doing. If you're in a partnership or if you're within your business or whatever, it's just a matter of putting the work into it and always trying to improve. And if you are always focusing on improving, whether it be the partnership or business, of course, little by little, it's only
Right.
going to get better and better. Um, so let's dig in a little deeper. My favorite podcast that I always talk about is Real Estate Rockstars. I think is what I heard is the most popular podcast for real estate agents. Um, And so anyway, so I listen to so many of their podcasts that I think I get a lot of the knowledge that I have from it.
Mhm.
And the way I run this live is I get little bits and pieces from that podcast. But wanted to dig in a little deeper within your business, if you don't mind sharing, and if there's anything you don't like to share, it's all good. Your first year in the business, what did that look like in
I
terms of
think
transactions, volume, and all that good stuff?
Yeah. So first year into business, I got licensed in a gosh, it was like midsummer. It was actually around this time I think it was. So it's like 4 years right now for me. Um, I don't think I sold anything. Like I got technically licensed, right? And then like when do you do anything with that license when you get the like congratulations, right? So I don't think I hit the pavement running right away, but that first, we'll call it 4 months, I did 6 deals, 4 deals in my first 6 months. And I remember my second ever deal because I was actually just driving down the street for my first deal the other day. It was in Lazy Creek in off Newport and Marietta Road in Menifee. I love that area. Um, but the second deal I ever did was, whenever someone tells me open houses don't work, I was sitting in an open house, had some guy come in and he's like, hey, talking with me through stuff, and come to find out he was the like one of the head managers, finance managers rather, for the new Mercedes Benz that was opening. And he had just said, hey, I work with salespeople all day long, because I had shot him a bomb video like right after he had left the open house, like, hey, thanks for coming, really appreciate it, et cetera, et cetera. And he texted me that night and just said, hey, we really appreciate your follow-up. Actually, here's who I am. I'm over like 36 salespeople, so like I really appreciate your follow-up. Can you take me out tomorrow and sign me into a new build? I know how this works. Sign me into a new build I want to buy. And so I took him the next day, right behind there, signed him in. Turns out it was 4% on a $640,000 house. So here I am, like a brand new agent. I'm getting like this biggest
Dang.
single biggest check besides selling my home, I've ever gotten. And I'm like, real estate works. This is awesome. So that was probably like just what I needed encouragement wise to get me through the whole year. But yeah, that was my introduction to real estate. But yeah, six in the first 4 months. So.
Dang, that's a lot. So yeah, in 4 months, six. I think I did six in a whole year.
Well, I don't think I would have sustained that. Let's be real. I'm under no illusion. I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, it's my first year into business. I've closed 64 deals, and people are like, how did you do that? Like, we all know those people. They need like 3 hours sleep and like a protein bar for a 24-hour period. I'm just different, right? Like I'm just built slower, and that's okay. So I don't think
Oh, but
I wouldn't have sustained. I wouldn't
that's
have
still
sustained
pretty dang good
six
though.
every 4 months. Yeah, super
Yeah.
good. I was really blessed to have done that, and I was consistent. But I don't. I had that freshman try, but I don't think I would have sustained that long term through that, because now I have a right in the. Well, this year we're on track to. There's Andrew, myself, and we just brought on 2 agents, and we'll do about 86 deals this year.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So like
Congrats.
a tenth of what you're doing solo, but we're really proud of it.
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was listening to this podcast, the latest one on real estate rock stars, and the guy didn't do a single deal in, I think he said 8 months, 8 or 9 months. And I'm like, wow,
Gotta love the
that's
tenacity, man.
rough. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. But that's the reality of real estate. Is I think most people on the outside looking in thinks it's easy. Like they just do. They just think it's a easy business to get in, low barrier of entry. But what they don't realize, the people really making money in real estate is a very small percentage of the real estate agents.
Oh yeah. I mean, what is it? Help me on the stat here. Is it like 98% of agents do less than 3 deals a year, and the average American income for a real estate agent is 38,000 a year? It's crazy.
Right. Totally. Yeah. And you see like the top agents just killing it and doing amazing, but the vast majority, like you said, are just scraping by in many cases. And that's why they say that I can't remember the stat, but it's like over 80% of people who get their license end up getting back out of the business. It's not a business for everyone.
Yeah.
Um, so, but that's awesome, and you're right. I'm a big believer in like just building the business right over a long period of time, and if you do it that way more organically, it's easy. It's easier to sustain a good, strong business. You're not chasing over time. You're no longer chasing that business. It just continues to come to you, and
Yeah.
you're able to continue to build that base and do more and more business.
But you've also, so like turning it back on your side of things, like you've also built it steadily but very strategically, like the property management aspect of the business, and building really your own self-sustaining ecosystem in that manner. So I think that slow and steady is good, but also strategic and positioned well for the future, right? And so I think there's that balance of, if you're moving so fast and you're all flash, you're going to make some killer money right now, but you're going to fizzle out, right?
Oh, for sure.
Versus if you're doing, I would say, like your model, being over 10 years in now for what you're doing in a very established business, earlier on or mid-year through, I think, if I'm following your trajectory correctly, starting the property
Yeah.
management aspect of it, and some of those strategic things you've done throughout the way of like knowing that slow and steady wins the race, but also strategic and smart, right?
Right. Oh, for sure. It shoot, that goes along the lines of a book I'm listening to right now for the second or third time, The E-Myth. Have you ever read that one?
I haven't read it. I have seen it. It's kind of a forget cheesier 90s cover, right?
It is. Oh, for
Okay.
sure. And I listen to it when I run, and which isn't the greatest book to listen to when you're running, just because you're like, it's just kind of boring, but it's like great information.
Yeah.
Um, but it just talks about how important it is to truly reflect on the business and work on the business, not in the business. And
Right.
the way to grow and pivot within a business is you have to have that ability to really analyze that business and continue to pivot in order to build a strong, successful business.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great read for anyone looking to really grow their business. It's called The E-Myth, and it's a pretty long book, but especially if you're in real estate or anything else, or just an entrepreneur, it's a great book with a lot of information. And it even talks about the different types of people, and how important it is to, I think I can't remember all the different types of persons, but it really just emphasizes the importance of really just looking in, just kind of like us, like the way for us to improve as a person, we have to periodically stop and think about, how are we behaving? How are we being perceived? How are we, in what ways can I be a better person? And the
Yeah.
same thing with business. We gotta stop, look at everything. What can we improve? And by improving the business, naturally, that business will continue to grow.
Yeah, and you grow what you focus on too, right? And so unless you're willing to stop and really reassess and look and spread out all your business across your desk and get that 30,000-foot perspective, you're just working in it and you're a hamster wheel, right? So while you're the hamster,
Oh,
it's the wheel.
exactly. Well, cool. Dang, so cool. Matt, what's up? Maria, Shoshana,
Oh,
Tate,
look, it's
Steven.
Matt. It's the guy who single-handedly got you to run. That's nice.
Uh, I think it was through Matt that I first met you too.
No, we
Uh,
we met so
did we
long
did we
before
meet
that.
before?
Yeah,
Oh,
we met
damn it,
like
Justin! Don't be saying stuff like that. Make me look bad on my life.
we met like 4 years ago at gosh, where did we meet at for lunch? Do you remember?
I
And you
know
were
we
all
met
weird,
that
and you
one
were
time
all
at the.
weirded out. You were weirded out because you're like, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just like the older agent now, so that you just want to meet with me.
Oh, at the
You're like, I
Cuban
guess I'm
place.
older. Yeah, we met at Havana's.
That was pre-Matt.
Yeah, it's pretty Matt.
Oh gosh, bro, I'm old. You gotta remember, I'm really old, so
We know
I'm
that. I
I'm
mean, but
losing it.
so I'm just glad you did the show in between your two naps. No, I think so.
Seriously.
Matt and I met and I was door knocking during an open house and he was hustling as usual, door knocking as well. And so we hit it off. So, um,
That's
and then Tyson and I helped Matt get a home together um, and then I have solar on my house for Matt and all
heck
my
yeah.
neighbors.
Oh, do they? Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
know Matt.
Yeah, all of us.
He's a great guy. Um, so tell me, I want to try to dig in a little deeper because I figured the majority of people that probably watch this are a lot of real estate agents. Want to dig in a little deeper into what do you think has allowed you to attain the success that you had, or this year, for example? You say you guys are on track to approaching 100 homes, which is insane. Um, what's the driving force? What do you think has allowed you to grow your business that much and that quickly? Do you feel like there's any sort of tricks? Um, what is it?
Yeah. So I mean, I think first and foremost, I think that anytime you see like someone growing, right? Like it's like a lagging indicator, like success and escrows and paychecks, that's all a lagging indicator of what you've done before, right?
Yeah.
And so we tell it to our guys and gals all the time is just, hey, what you're doing this month is paying off in 90 days. So be patient, right? Like don't measure today for the success you had today, because if you're just going to put forth effort to see something in the next like 5 minutes, you're never going to see it and you're going to mad and be done. You will be one of those, 97, 98% of people who are out of the business in the first couple of years. So I think like understanding that like success is a lagging indicator, and work hard and with tenacity. And like the first few years, like there are people for sure that I could name off the top of my head that have immense success right off the bat, and they're built with that driver mentality. That's Andrew and I recognized kind of earlier on. Not that we're not drivers, because I could be a very aggressive person, but more so where I was at in life, where he's at in life. We both have wives and kids and families and church responsibilities and all sorts of stuff. So I wasn't going to be like an 80-hour a week, let's do this. Now I put in a good lot for sure, but there's a better way, I think, of doing real estate, and it's strategic and it's little by little, like you said. And so we really built in a lot of systems in place. That's, a lot of systems in place, whether it be call lines on for people to be able to call in to for sale signs, or whatever it might be, text for more info, whether it be online marketing. All those things were set up even to like our admin side and admin support staff, and having those systems set up so that when we do grow, our clients have an awesome experience while we grow. It's not this frantic client can tell you're getting busy, so therefore the service drops, right?
Dude,
So we
that's a great point though. And it's funny, that was a big section in that E-Myth book. It's like, as you create systems and processes within your business, the way you were saying it is, it sounds like, or the way I see it anyways, the reality is as you put those systems and processes in place, you naturally grow because of that. Because all of a
yeah,
sudden, because of those systems and processes, now you have more time to
right.
focus on prospecting and other things that will just allow your business to naturally grow.
Yeah. So to your point, like working on the business allows you to expand the foothold of the business, or expand the footprint of the business so that you can take bigger steps, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what we've seen on our side is really, honestly, we were overbuilt for the amount of business we were doing even last year, where we're just like, okay, we're writing this check every month, and we've done a lot of systems and a lot of experiences for clients, and we've done bigger client parties for people that we've seen have 4 times as much business, but like we just love it. This isn't a puff piece, like we are serving our clients well. We know we love what we're doing. We are like, our margins are definitely small, are thinner than we'd like, though, because of the fact that like we need the sales to catch up to the systems that we've put in place. And so this
Yeah.
year it was a big focus on nothing new. That was like my probably like 3/4 through last year, the Q4 of last year, and then all this year it's been like nothing new, nothing shiny, nothing new. Like I don't need anything new. We just need to master what we have, and we need to learn how to serve our clients within the systems we have, and expand to more agents and reach, et cetera. So it's been really good. I mean, honestly, I've been blown away by it. Just even from the numbers tracking, data analytics side to the client experience side, with how to manage their transactions better, some of the software pieces we've put in place for them on that side. So we had this overbuilt business that now is running on almost every cylinder. I think we have far to go as
Yeah.
far as sales go. Obviously, we're really proud of that 84 to 86 number that we're going to land on, but we see so much more.
Dang, I
But yeah.
love that. Can you dive in a little deeper? I think like
Mhm.
when agents or others think systems and processes within real estate, and I think it's an area where I would say over 90% of agents really need to improve, if not more than that.
Yeah.
What are a couple of those systems or processes, just a couple, that you're talking about?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say first and foremost, your CRM, right? We all have those conversations. So having somewhere that you keep your clients to manage, and everything that we do has to pass through that litmus test. I don't know if you've read some of like the most major mission statements from like Zappos or places like that, really famous ones, and their core tenets of their business. Like Zappos, for example, it's we keep our costs low and we believe in frugality so we can pass on that cost savings to our clients. Like how awesome, right? Not like shareholder value, not like we want to get rich, but it was like we want to create a lower price product and streamline and have synergy with what we do, all these corporate speak, right? But it's so we can pass on savings to clients. And that was as part of their mission statement, one of their core tenets. So for us, one of our core tenets is that we measure everything against its benefit to the client, not ourselves. And so we look at stuff and go, man, that's a big check to write. yeah, but gosh, it's going to be such a good experience for the client. We should do that. So, for us, for example, it's RealVolve. So we use a backend system called RealVolve for our transactions so that our clients get emails from us and no ball gets dropped, whether it's a home warranty email, congrats, your home warranty came through. A ton of that stuff's automated, and we tell them ahead of time, hey, you're going to get a lot of automated emails from us that we've specifically put out the unique timeline for you. It is your transaction, but at the same time, you're going to get pop-ins once a week at minimum from me on video. Hey, how's it going? Your house didn't burn down. Everything's great, right? So they can see my face, see I'm happy, see things are going well. So we have some automated components, but we also have systems in place from the aspect that it'll remind us, hey, video your client, let them know how the escrow is going. And then you're like, hey, everything's going well. I'll see you at the home inspection tomorrow at 2, just a reminder, but this is just your normal Tuesday check-in, let you know everything's going well. They're getting an automated email that says, hey, congrats, welcome to escrow. Here's the next steps you can expect, and here are the parties that you will be hearing from throughout the next 30 days, whatever it might be. So there's just some of those client experience systems that we've put in place that also help us in escrow get it out of your head and onto paper, or out of your head or onto the computer, right? So you stop living in this like stressed out world where your kid's trying to play on the couch with you and you're like, did I send that email? Instead, it's like, I don't know, it went out. I know it went out because my admin set up the whole workflow for that transaction. So we have that stuff in place for clients and for ourselves so we can scale our business, and our clients are excited while we do it.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just one example of stuff that we've done.
Perfect. I think that's huge because I think most agents don't, and it's more of a reactive type of being a real estate agent or business owner sometimes, I feel like. Whereas the reality is to provide that great service in the real estate world is being proactive. They shouldn't need to reach out to get that update. You should set those expectations from day one,
Right.
and they should from day one know what that process looks like, who's going to be communicating with them, who's going to be checking in with them, to where it's like they don't even need to call Justin because they know Justin's going to have an email sent to them. He's going to check in on a weekly basis. If you do all those little things on top of just having the processes and systems streamlined, you're going to be able to much more efficiently handle more and more clients, kind of like what you were saying about growing into your business. It allows you to be much more efficient and provide for that top-notch experience for that client to where they're going to want to work with you again, or they're going to refer clients to you because they know you're a true professional. They know you have things in place to really run your business as a real business and not someone that's just, going paycheck to paycheck, but not really running it the way they should, in my opinion.
Well,
So I love that.
I think we, a lot of times, because real estate is a very, mistakenly, I think, a very personality-based business, right? It's like I have my financial advisor that I don't care what he's like. I just care he makes money for me, and I care about my insurance broker gets me the best coverage. But when it comes to my real estate agent, they just have to be enthusiastic, right? And it's like, well, it's a huge transaction, and it's probably they could lose the most amount of money or gain the most amount of money depending on their agent and their ability, and their consistency. So I and their dependability. So, for us, it really came down to if I can just systematize my personality in a little bit more of a sense, like every Tuesday, you're going to get an update from me. Yes, I'm a person. You could say that's not a system, but my system is I do an update every Tuesday to all my clients on video with this in the background. I've done dozens upon dozens of these this year, just like this with this framing going, hey, how's it going? Your escrow's going well. It's just a normal Tuesday update. Just want to let you know there's nothing new to report, which is actually a good thing. Boring escrows are our favorite. It means you're getting the house you wanted with no bumps in the road. You do that no matter what every Tuesday, and your clients just go, yeah, it was great. They need you to be, they don't need you to be a pinball machine of personality, right? Like they need you to be the steady anchor. And doesn't mean you can't be excited and tell jokes and be personable, but you do have to be consistent in everything you do, because it gives clients that comfort on a very scary time in their life. Exciting, but scary.
Right. Oh, it's definitely, it's a scary, stressful experience selling a home. Dang, we're already at 30 minutes. Check it out, man. What the heck?
Boom.
Well, let's finish off with what would be, in Justin's world, if you had a new agent entering the business, knowing what you know now, what would be a couple of things or one of the things that you would really focus on to build your business?
I'd say, man, you should join a great team. Um, For sure. But the second thing I would say, you should join a
Ah,
great team. And if you don't join, a great team,
ah,
if you don't, and you're going to do it solo, um, you really need to have a business plan. You need to know, well, first and foremost, you need to know your monthly expenses, right? Like what does Tyson need to make in order to survive? And people usually like, because people ask that question now, like in the office, like what do I do? And you're like, know your budget. How much? What do you need to survive? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, you should figure that out. And then you need to translate into how many escrows you need just for the first year. Like, I don't need to hear you want to do 48 transactions. Me too. That's great. We solved that, right? Like everyone wants to do more.
yeah,
Tell me what you need to make, and if it's $7,000, now I need you to look at your expenses and business that you're going to have, whether it's compounding all your MLS dues and make a budget, profit loss, make your budget, personal budget, professional budget, see how many escrows you need to do to hit it, and then talk to a seasoned agent about, now that I know I need 12 escrows this year at the average price point of blank, right, with an average commission of, if you're a buyer's agent right now, we all know what that is, on or listing side, whatever it's going to be, know your average commission, and then work backwards and find out what kind of effort you need to put forth to hit that, you know,
yeah,
and then from there
yeah.
you have a business plan, and then break it down to a 90-day cycle, and then now you know what you got to do. Put your blinders on for the next 90 days, 3 months, and go and try to hit those results. That's what I would tell someone. Your first year, you could tell me all the cute, awesome, huge goals you want to do. Totally get it. At the end of the day, you've got bills to pay, and that's what you need to focus on year one. Because I think you actually said to me when we first sat down, it's like if you can outlast in this business, you can outsell in this business. So,
Yeah.
if you just steady as you go your first year and figure out what it takes to survive financially, because that's not talked about as much. We do the rah, we do the like, they look like they're doing so good. You're like, yeah, but they're just posting other people's open houses. They need money to pay their bills too.
Right.
That's how I would tell a new agent. Know your numbers, know your budget, and know what it takes to sell to hit that number, so you can provide for your family, have a good head on your shoulders, make it to year two where you can start making some real business plans.
True. Love it. Good job, Just. You're the man. And I do love the like I know you didn't really go in deeper on the whole team thing, but it really is true. It's one of the things that I've thought a lot about. I didn't start on a team or anything, but I feel like by joining a team, even if it's for a year or whatever, it would really give you a lot of that basis or experience, which will allow you to go out on your own, however long it takes you to get to that point, to where you can do things with confidence. You've already experienced a lot of things. You've experienced how your team lead really already understands and knows the business, knows the numbers, what it takes to build a business. And so
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it could definitely be a great way for many agents. And I even think myself, if I were to start over, it's something I would definitely consider, knowing what I know now, just because I feel like it would allow me to potentially learn things in 1 year that have taken 10 years to learn, if you know what
You
I'm
see all,
saying. Because,
well, you see
yeah,
all sorts of different things come across your desk, right? Like just in the last 2 weeks, we've had one of our guys is brand new, Dakota, and he's seen probate come across his desk. He's seen cash buyers. He's seen $700,000 all cash. He's seen escalation clauses. He's seen everything you can think of, appraisal issues, navigating through repair requests. I mean, he's seeing this 10 times over when another agent would be lucky to see that every 2-3 months in their first year, right?
ex-
So
totally.
versus
Yeah.
getting it landslided at the end of that year, you're like, oh my gosh, I've grown a ton from just seeing all of the experiences that weren't even my own. It was another agent sitting next to me at the desk, but how do I learn from that?
Right. No, it essentially fast forwards your education experience and everything, which, yeah, can totally set you up for success. Because obviously all of that leads to just education, experience, and all of that, and confidence. So,
Yeah.
um, love it. Great knowledge. Okay, I don't want to go too much over. We're already over a few minutes, 5 minutes. Shoot. Um, so Justin, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, if you're watching this, like we discussed a few things here that I think are extremely important. And one of the ones that Justin just shared to kind of wrap us up is you do have to make a lot of deposits into your business before you're able to start making withdrawals. And you have to realize that. Like, it's not easy. The real results where you'll find great success and great results is by putting in the work over a long, over a long period of time.
Yeah, consistent period
And
of
if
time
you,
for sure.
right, and if you're willing to do that, all of a sudden you're going to get to that point a few months, maybe a year down the line, where you're able to start making those withdrawals because of all the time you put into it. Justin, you shared a lot of amazing wisdom. You're the man. I appreciate you coming on with us today. And I hope everyone that was watching, guys, follow Justin. He's a great friend, and he's doing his business right, which is why his business just continues to grow. I look up to you in the business, Justin, and I appreciate you coming on with me.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's been awesome. Thanks for the friendship, and thanks for having me on.
All right, cool, guys. Have a good one. Till next week. We'll see ya.
See ya.
Bye. Later, Justin.
See you, man.